Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the 5 books that have really impacted me, both professionally and personally throughout my career. So the first book I want to cover is Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Now I read the first edition of this book when I first became a software developer and started earning money. It's a really good book about personal finance that will teach you all of the basics that you really should have been taught at school. So things like budgeting, saving, as well as an introduction to investing as well. I first read this book when I was 22 and it's really had the biggest impact on my finances over the years. If I didn't start managing my money and investing when I was 22, then I wouldn't be in as good a financial position as I am now. If you want to be rich someday, then you need to start building some good financial habits. You've probably heard about all the stories of lottery winners who win loads of money and then within a couple of years they're broke again. And the thing is, it's just because they haven't learned how to manage their money properly. So getting a good grip of how to do that is really important when you're young. Yes, the title's a little bit scammy, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, but it's a really good book and it's worth reading, especially if you have no clue about investing or how to save properly. So the next book I want to cover is Paul Millard's The Pathless Path. Now I read this book last year after I quit my job to do something different. It's one of these books that I find myself coming back to again and again whenever I feel that I'm doubting my decision and I want to get a perspective from someone who's actually done it themselves. In the book, Paul covers how most of us are conditioned to follow the default path. So we go to school, we get good grades, we get a good job, and then we retire when we're 65. Or is it 68 or 70? It's the path that our parents want for us, and it's also the path that's traditionally been a pretty safe bet. As a lot of software developers last year found out, there really is no such thing as a secure job. And many of us are really following this default path by default. We're following it on autopilot. We go to work every day and we try and get through the week so that we can enjoy our weekends. And then when Sunday comes, we're dreading because Monday's just around the corner. And working at least 40 hours a week for 40 to 50 years and then only doing what you want to do with your life at the weekends is a pretty depressing thought when you think about it. But the thing is, that is what most of us do. Most people don't really stop to think what they want out of life and how they can go about getting it. So if you're thinking about taking a different career path, maybe thinking about becoming a freelancer or doing something else that doesn't involve being chained to your desk for 8 hours a day, then this book is really essential reading. Paul also has a podcast called The Pathless Path, and it's really good. It's worth listening to. He regularly interviews people that have taken the leap and are doing something different with their lives. Now, the next book that's really impacted me is Mitch Albom's Tuesdays with Morrie. Now, in the book, Mitch goes and visits his college professor who he finds out is dying of ALS. Now, you could say up until this point, Mitch had really been following the default path. He got good grades, he went to a good school, he graduated and got a great job earning lots and lots of money. The thing is, he wasn't really happy. He hardly saw his wife because he was working all the time. But he took the time out every Tuesday to go and visit Morrie and really have a final lesson with his college professor. In the book, Morrie gives a lot of advice about how to have a fulfilling life, and it made me think a lot about my own life and how I go about spending my time. It's a really thought-provoking book and it's worth adding to your reading list. So the next book on my list is this one, which is The Almanac of Neville Ravikant. I hope I pronounced his name correctly there. I read this book a couple of years ago when it came out. It's not actually written by Neville Ravikant, but it's a collection of all of his tweets and interviews and all these other wise words that he said over the years. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's a very successful entrepreneur and investor. He founded AngelList, as well as being a first-time investor in companies such as Uber and Stack Overflow. He really knows what he's talking about when it comes to generating wealth. And in the book, he covers everything from wealth, health, as well as living a happy life. There's so many great points in this book. It's actually my most highlighted book on Readwise. I think I've got about 200 highlights from this book alone. It's practically the whole book. One of the key points that I really like in this book is the talk about permissionless leverage. So leverage, in this case, he's talking about code and media. So code as in writing code, writing applications that you can scale out to lots of people, and media such as building an audience, content creation, YouTube videos, that sort of thing. In the past, leverage was really focused around capital leverage, so large amounts of money, or labor leverage, so leveraging other people's time. But really, with permissionless leverage, you don't need permission to do these things. You can create an application, you can create a YouTube channel. All of those things will scale and can make you rich over the long term. I won't spoil any more of it for you. It's not a very long book. You can probably read it over a weekend, but it's really worth reading. If you're liking this video so far, please hit that like button below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps this video be found. So the last book I'm going to cover today is Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. They can probably see there's a bit of a theme in most of the books that I've picked out. It's really about taking an unconventional path in life. And really this one is talking about financial independence. So the ultimate goal of having so much money that you don't have to work at all. If you've ever heard about financial independence, you've probably come across this book before. It was written in the early 90s and it really kick-started that FIRE movement. So FIRE in this case stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. It's really around saving enough money and in some cases reducing your expenses so you can get there sooner. For some people who follow the FIRE movement, they've managed to retire as early as 30, especially those that are highly paid software engineers working in Silicon Valley, for example. One of the things that I really like about this book is it encourages you to have a deep look into your finances and work out what you're spending your money on and whether it matches with your values that you have in your life. One of the things it gets you to do is look at your income and work out what your actual hourly rate is, to take into account of things like the cost of your commute, the time it takes you to commute, as well as all the things that you might buy because you can't be bothered to cook because you haven't got energy, or the things you buy just to make you happy because you don't enjoy your job. When you add them all up, you'll probably find that your hourly rate is a lot lower than what you thought it was. This can be a bit of an eye-opener for a lot of people when they take account of their costly commute or their expensive lunches in the city. They might find that they'd be better off taking a job locally with a lower pay, for example. Now, I did used to be a big advocate for financial independence, but really to get there you need like 25 times your annual expenses, which is a huge sum of money. For example, if your expenses are around $30,000 a year, you need roughly $750,000 invested so that you can live off that money and have it not run out over your long retirement. Now, obviously, if you're on multiple six figures and you're investing half of your salary every year, then you're going to get there quite quickly. But if you're not a Silicon Valley software developer, then it's going to take a lot longer than that. However, the philosophies in this book did help me save up enough money and take a leap of faith and do something a bit different with my life. So for that reason alone, I think it's worth reading this book. One of the things I love about reading books is you never know when you're going to find a nugget of information that's going to change your life. Half the problem is remembering what you've read, and this is why I've started taking notes. If you're interested about taking notes and how to organise them, you might like to watch this video next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.